And it took me a while to figure out that these AIs don't know anything about you. They're geniuses, all right. They're genius on many levels in many fields, but they don't know anything about you. So we're gonna rectify that problem. If you haven't already seen some of my previous videos, you can go back and watch the master prompt and the sparring partner I suggest, but we're gonna get into a little more of feeding it some information that you can reuse. So at one point I had 17 projects going in ChatGPT, and I thought they were all brilliant, and of course they were not. And once I ran them through what's called the Claude Council, I was running prompts through both Chat and Claude to see what different answers I was getting, and they were different. And so I started wondering if any of my ideas had any merit. So I discovered the Claude Council and ran these 17 ideas through the Claude Council, and in no time at all, it nixed 10 of the ideas right away. And the other 7 were good, but there were implications and some capital needed for some of them, so not super viable either for me at this moment. So really narrowed it down from 17 to 7, and then I kind of narrowed it down to 3 or 4 there that I'm currently working on, which includes documenting my journey of learning AI, and I've now built an agent, and I'm going to teach you about skill files and MD files. So I've got a little outline here because I will lose my spot. The problem is that AI doesn't have a memory, right? And it's just gonna always go back to its default beginning, and you're gonna always have to remind it. So what you want to do is create what we call skill files. Now these are really pretty simple to do. You can simply have a conversation with it, with your AI, about a problem, and then solve it together. And at the end of that chat or conversation, you simply ask it, can we turn this into a skill file? And it will save it as a skill.md. And you can save it, download it into your computer separately. So if anything ever happens with one of these AI companies, as we saw, Anthropic's Fable 5 got pulled, all my information was gone from that project. So if I had saved it on a skills file or an MD file, I'd still have that information. So these skills, each one of the skill files is a specific skill. So like I said, you can talk to ChatGPT, brainstorm, figure out a problem, and then at the end of it, ask it, or Claude, can we turn this into a skill and save it in a skill file? If it doesn't recommend that it's that savable or worth saving, then just tell it to turn it into a PDF so you can save it in your computer, so you won't have to go through that whole chat history again. You can bring that PDF right back in and start right where you left off, and hopefully solve that problem at another time when you can turn that into a skill. So from then on, you just pull that skill into every project you're working on. Skills are going to be standard operating procedures, something that are repeatable, something that are easy. One task is a skill that it can consistently do. You can make up tons of skill files, all for different little tasks. And then when we get to more of the thinking, the brain part of it, that's like an execution part, the skills. But the reasoning and stuff, it comes down to what they call .md files. Now these files store a little more information, and they store more context about maybe who you are, or the brand you're working with of the company you're talking about, where you came from, maybe your goals. So but I would create one MD file that is just standard operating procedures, just whatever your company does or you do on a daily basis, map it out as standard operating procedures. And if it's something that the AI can take care of for you, make an MD file out of that and put that in your projects folder, and put whatever skill files in that it might utilize with that. So your SOP MD file would be the first one to really get down and create. And then you want to create maybe like a soul MD or something to give it its voice, if you will, where it comes from, where it's going, whether it's the company or you as a person, some of the goals and aspirations, and I mean possibly even things that, you know, charities and things that you care about. So it's kind of filling its soul, like it has somewhat of a voice back there and a persona. And if it's your company, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be its whole ecosystem of how it makes people feel and everything. You put everything in that soul file that you can think of that adds to its personality and vision. And then in an ID.md file, give it an identification. Now, if you're doing it for your personal self, you want it to have your voice, right? Feed it transcript of you talking so it knows your timing and your beats, and give it information about you. If it's your company, give it access to the website, any other literature about the company. It will then recognize the brand colors, the brand font, and it will always answer in that way. Those 3 files are going to really change the game for you. And when you start utilizing the skill files and putting them in the MD files into your projects, now every time you go into that project, you're going to pick up right where you left off. It knows exactly where the goal is, what you guys are trying to get through. And now you can actually start, really, I think this is where you could start putting your time into them, because these are vested ideas now, and now you've got skills and files saved. And this is the time where, you know, the water's warm right now in AI. There's going to be waves of AI coming constantly. Every day a new tool comes out. And we don't even know what's coming. Nobody really does. So the best thing to do is be prepared and go ahead and dip your toes in the water and get comfortable and start swimming around. So when the big waves come, you're gonna be able to get under it, hold your breath, or possibly even turn around and paddle for it, ride it. This is a great time in history, and I hope you all have hung in there for the whole thing. If you have any questions, comment, like, subscribe, share.